Hi guys, my name is Karim, and I've been driving with Lyft and Uber for over 3 years now. Originally an entrepreneur, and I was in the phase of starting something new, a new business, and I've been working on some projects. And when I first started driving full time, I was just recently married, and I had to keep, money coming in to pay bills. So I decided to drive Uber and Lyft full time. I had tried it out before in the past. It was just kind of like for fun or like part time, you could say, and the money was pretty good. I was mostly doing Lyft, and I used to go out like on some weekends when I was kind of like bored at home, and I went out and made decent money just driving for like 2 3 hours. So when I came to a point where I was like, okay, I'm starting on these new projects. These projects are not going to pay anything for a while, but I need to keep some income coming in. I decided to drive full time, thinking that things were going to be as good as they have been. However, over the course of the 3 years that I've been driving, the driving experience has been getting worse and worse and worse. Um, and it just goes as far as the control that Uber and Lyft is trying to have and put on their drivers, all the way to how much drivers are making per ride, per mile, per day. So I'm not gonna lie, there has been some good days, but there has been a lot of bad days. So there could be a day where things work out abnormally good. You get some good rides, you get some high surges, you get some nice tips, but that's not the everyday case by far. On most days, we are currently struggling um, just to get a decent ride, and especially with the rates being cut and being so low now, you are constantly on a chase for surges. And for anybody that is familiar with driving or has been driving for a while, you should know better than try to chase surges. It's like trying to chase a ghost. So it's not the way it works out. You pretty much have to be in that surge area to get that surge. If you're trying to drive to a surge, it's not gonna happen. Forget about it. It's all about being at the right place at the right time. And yes, it takes some experience and some knowledge of the industry to know where to be, what time to be there. But circumstances don't always help you out to be there. So 3 years ago, I was recently married. Today, I'm still married, but I also have two kids. I have almost 3-year-old boy, and my newborn is almost 4 months now. And in the beginning, when I first had my boy, I thought, hey, I'm still working on these projects. Some of them did not work out, and I had to start new projects. And I thought that driving would still keep me going and keep us surviving. And it also allowed me to spend more time with my wife and my kid, especially that I was a new father, and experiencing this fatherhood was an amazing experience. However, because of how bad the driving situation is and how bad the rates have been and how hard it is to make a living now, it has turned the other way, and it's taken away from that time that I get to spend with my son and my wife, because I have to work longer. I am too tired after working and I need to get more rest. And it pretty much took away from that quality time that I intended to spend with my family. And ended up being the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be. Um, Forget the flexibility. What's the point of the flexibility if you have to work, the same amount of hours that anybody works in any other job, um, and sometimes even more, without getting paid overtime or extra time for it. So it completely changed and turned around, and Uber and Lyft try to justify that by saying that this is just a part-time gig and it's supplemental income. It's not meant to be as a full-time job. which is completely untrue and is far from the truth for a few reasons. One of the main reasons is if Uber and Lyft was a part-time gig and it was not meant to be for full-time people and there was no full-time drivers out there, this business model would not survive a day because there wouldn't be drivers out there driving and ready to pick you up whenever you need a ride. Simply wouldn't work out because in order for this business model to work as efficient as it does, there has to be full-time drivers. There has to be drivers that are always out there available for passengers to meet the demand. That's the number one thing. The number two thing is they're saying it's supplemental income. It's only meant for part-time. So what they're trying to justify is exploitation and underpaying drivers. So what they're saying is it's okay to exploit people part-time. It's not okay to exploit them full-time. But part-time is okay. So that's another really bad argument that they try to put out there. And obviously it does not make sense. And us as drivers are not buying it, and I don't think anybody from the outside would be buying it either. Um, right now, I am still working on my projects, and I'm still trying to get certain things off the ground. Uber and Lyft were just meant to be a transitional phase solution, temporary solution. It has been going on for longer than I intended for it to. However, even if I stop driving, and even if my projects take off as soon as tomorrow and I don't need to drive anymore, I will still continue to fight for drivers and fight with drivers that are demanding rights and fair wages for people doing this job, because this is not fair. And I would like to urge anybody that is driving that has been affected by pay cuts or by these low rates or by any of the negative things that us as drivers experience, to share a video and share a little piece about themselves and about their experience. And hopefully in the near future we may get some change because this industry needs to be regulated. You can't have two entities controlling this many lives, and not just the drivers' lives, but their families are also affected. So it's not just the driver, but it's the driver's wife and kids and everybody that depends on them. Everybody's affected. And there are thousands of drivers out there and thousands of people affected by this kind of treatment. And this is not fair. And something needs to be done about it, and it needs to be regulated. And that's what we look forward to doing. And I'm going to be here fighting this fight, whether I'm driving or not. And I'd like to see you guys out there fighting the fight with us.